Right, let's pop in the chat and see. Yeah, so hey everyone. Sorry I'm late. I'm like 7 minutes late today because I was in a car riding up into the Bulgarian mountains. So I'm just the house where I'm going to be staying for the next month is with a friend, but there's no electricity today or tonight, so we're sort of staying with one of his friends. I've just jumped in one of the bedrooms, loaded up the Wi-Fi, and here we are. So I've literally just arrived. We drove from well, I was in Sofia a few days ago. We drove to a friend of mine was running a retreat of some form, where I've been over the weekend, and then today it was like a 5-hour car journey up down through Bulgaria and then up into the mountains, and the air is clean and crisp and amazing. So anyway, hi Robin, hi Shirley, hi Marcus, hey Colin, hey Janus. Good to see you. Well, I can't see you. I can see you in my mind. I'm imagining you. Hey, Christopher. Oh, how's your week been, everyone? My week's been very, very busy. I've been working from well, not today, but tomorrow onwards. I'm going to be getting back on module 19 of the course. Carlos just messaged either me or the chat saying he can't join. This happens like every time, doesn't it? Like some people can't join, but when I go live, you can see it, right? You just click on like yes, just join. So I don't know why people struggle. We've got 10 people here right now. Christopher says it's not obvious on the site. Yeah, maybe I should do like a little video saying, right, here's how you join. So yeah, that reminds me, I'm going to join on the phone app. So then when I go into Trading View, I can see what you guys are writing in the chat. Oops, turn that down. There we go. Robin, Shirley says I get a notification to join. Robin says I have to wait for the email link. Marcus, I can only get on when I get the notification. Yeah, it's like as soon as I've gone live, if you go to the notification, you can do it. But I'm sure if you go to so I'm really sleepy. This weekend I haven't had much sleep at all. For various reasons. I'm not going to go into the nature of what the retreat was, but yeah, so it's going to be a chill, sleepy live stream today. So it looks like no one else is joining. We've got 10 people today, so a nice little intimate one. If you guys have any, by the way, any questions, anything you want me to look at, that I'm here for you guys. I'm just here hanging out with you guys. The default is I just go into the charts and I look at Bitcoin and I'll just have a look. But if there's anything specific you guys want me to look at, I'm here for you. So just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just go into Trading View and we can have a look at the charts together and well, the Bitcoin chart together and just see what we can dig up. But I've literally been in the car for like 5 hours, so I'm thirsty, and also the winding roads up into the mountain. I was starting to get a little bit sick from all the bouncing around and all the. So I'm just drinking this water, just getting like relaxed. Marcus says I can only get on when I get the notification. Bitcoin is good. I did have an interesting insight at this retreat. I was at. It was a friend running this retreat, and there was a lot of time in the retreat where I got to sit still and listen to really nice music, but sit still and kind of just ponder, think, reflect. I mean, how often do you truly sit in one place for hours and just reflect and ponder and ask yourself questions? And it's like looking for answers without frantically, like whatever. It's just like sitting within yourself. And one of the insights I had, or one of the thoughts, was pertaining to King Silver and what I'm doing with this. And you guys might have heard me say, and it's true, but you might have heard me say that, oh, you know, that I selfishly want you guys to all succeed so that eventually you guys can then take those skills into the King Silver platform when that's live, so that that will then succeed. But then it's, but what sort of I realized, or was like kind of when I was doing a lot of this reflecting, was that like it's still a very kind of small, like the why, because it's like, oh, it's all about me. It's like, because I want you guys to succeed so that you'll make King Silver succeed, so that ultimately I succeed. So it's just like it's all about me. And I thought that's not really kind of deeply fulfilling, you know. It's not like it's not a big enough why. And then I thought, well, there's a lot more to this than that. There's a lot more. There's something far deeper and more meaningful at play, and part of it is kind of there's a dark side of it, which is that I do believe that we are heading for like dark economic times. I do, you know, I am an optimist as a person, but I do think we are heading for really troubled times. So there's I think there is a deeper mission to all of this that goes beyond just me. Because I think if your whole, if your highest ambitions, or the things you're working for, are all about you, I mean, it's not really that inspiring. It's not really that, or not inspiring is the wrong word. It's not. It lacks a certain depth of meaning, you know. And but there's the potential here for it to be about so much more than just little old me. It's like, if I can, and this is maybe because if it is just about me, then there's not actually any kind of responsibility. There's no there's like, it's just me. There's no pressure. There's no responsibility. But the next level up, right? To step up it's about helping as many people as possible survive, so not just survive but thrive in the times that we are heading into, you know. So, and that's a big burden. That's a lot of responsibility. But you know, as someone who I look up to, Jordan Peterson says, like, we find meaning in life to the degree that we take responsibility for something. Like the meaning comes from responsibility. So I do think we are heading for dark times, and I seem to have a talent for teaching. I seem to have a talent for discovering, finding patterns, you know, and forging a path, and taking people on that journey. So I kind of yeah, I was just thinking about that this weekend, and it just had this kind of, not realization, but just kind of like, yeah, like a right, there is something bigger and more meaningful that this is all about, you know. It's about it's almost like King Silver could be like the arc, and the big flood is coming, kind of thing. I know it sounds a bit like dark and crazy, but it's like, you know, it's not just about me trying to save myself. It's not just about me trying to thrive. It's like, I want to take as many people as possible with me, right? So I don't know what you guys think about this, but this is me kind of like what I was just pondering about this weekend. So I wasn't reading what you guys been writing, sorry, while I'm waffling on. Hey Carlos, Robin says, my question is about unbalanced volume in comparison to straight volume bars. Some waves have very little volume on unbalanced volume. Okay, yeah, we can have a look at that. Just remind me while I go through these other comments. Esther says, oh yeah, hey Esther, how you doing? Marcus says, agree we are. I'm assuming you mean I agree we are heading for dark times economically. Maybe, I think, you know, beyond economically. You know, anyway, Colin says, we got to get our asses into gear and master this trading then. Jana says, I like what I'm hearing, Andy. Yeah, cool, man. Marcus says, I understand What you mean? Totally. Why I'm so happy I found you. I need a new way. Jana says there definitely needs to be a bigger why other than me. Yeah, I mean, it's just there's not enough meaning in me. You know what I mean? It's like fine. Like obviously we all want to succeed in ourselves. We want to, at the very minimum, we want to like survive. We want to be able to ideally look after ourselves and everyone we love, right? And then there's the ego, not ego, it's wrong. There's the part of us that wants to, fast cars, the that kind of that's that side of you. And we've all got that within us. We've all got that within us, that we, the wanting to the status, the crazy money and all that kind of stuff. And it's a part of me as well. But one thing I kind of little insight I had this weekend was like, well, that I know that's not going to be the most fulfilling thing, right? If I've got a Lambo, for example, and that Lambo isn't a product of everyone else having Lambos, if that makes sense. The Lambos are funny and not the correct metaphor, but you know what I mean, right? It's like I know it'd be far more fulfilling than a Lambo is, whatever the cost of the Lambo is, if I know that I had helped as many other people not even achieve success, because in the times that like are coming, like if I can help as many people make sure their families are safe and fed and you know what I mean, like that's so much more important. That's so much more important. Colin says Corey's having trouble getting here. Yeah, why? I don't understand. Corey says I can't join the Wavecast for some reason. So I don't know, because you're all here. Because I'm creating the live stream, so I can't see from your end, and I just joined the live stream straight away from my phone, so I could see the chat. So I don't know what the issue is. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, okay. So the join link, I set the link to the because there's no link. I just go live. Janus says, click the live stream link on the front page when going through the events page. There is no link. Yeah, so click the live stream link on the front page. So can somebody message Colin? Can you message, because I'm live streaming, so I can't could you message maybe I can do it on my phone. Yeah, sorry guys. Just let me just quickly. So what did you say? Janus says click the live stream link on the front page. There you go. Oh, Shirley, you've sent Corey a message with the link. Sweet. Colin says not working. He tried clicking the notification. I don't know why. I don't know. Obviously, we need to improve this, because this is a few people that have been having this issue. So we'll get through it, because you guys are here. So it's just a user interface thing, right? We've got to get over. Got to get through it. Oh. The water in Bulgaria, bloody good as well. Oh, you're here, Corey. Nice one. Okay, cool. So Tony says, massively agree that the greatest self-reward is being able to help others. If I get consistent, would definitely help to support this mission. Yeah. And it's totally possible. Like, it's totally possible. Like if I was teaching something else that I know a lot about, is like internet marketing or business. If I was like teaching you how to create businesses and stuff, it's like not everyone can succeed at that, because it requires a myriad of lots of different skills and interests and abilities. And some people just might not have a business idea which is marketable, that they've got a skill which is not really monetizable or whatever. But trading, in liquid high volume markets, is something that anybody can learn. If with obviously the commitment, because you have to commit to it, and it is something you have to learn, right? But it is something that everyone can learn. So anyway, Colin says, agree, Tony. When I master this, I really want to become a coach. Yeah. So should I pop into Bitcoin then and have a little look? Let me just quickly have a look for messages. Yeah, Shaman said he was going to pop in. I just want to see if Shaman's in the. Yeah, you're here, Shaman. Cool, nice one. There he is. Yeah, I can see you typing. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, let's jump in. Let's jump in to Trading View. Where is it? Share my screen. Yeah, and I'm just using the mic from my laptop. Normally I would have my proper mic, which is much better quality, but I've just literally run up the stairs, opened up the laptop, and so Christopher says, "Can I book a seat on the Ark? I have a few tins of beans." Yeah, if you've got some tins of beans, you got anything like that, we can store it in the Ark. You know, I'll I was actually joking with Shaman earlier. I'll have like a VIP section of the Ark. You know. Yeah. That's funny. All right, so let me just go back into the live stream on my phone. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, I see what you mean. So now I've gone into events. I've clicked on the live stream event, and like it's not there. So you've got to go into groups, wave counters, and then I'll refresh. Yeah, there it is, and then it shows up as live on the top, and you can click there, join as viewer. Cool. Okay, so I can see your messages now. All right, sweet. So Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has been respecting this upper median line, right? And one thing I've got to be more careful of is having too many pitchforks at once when I'm showing you guys, because it just looks like a mess. But I might understand it, but it's not going to really be helpful to you guys. So I've kind of simplified this with, I think, just the most important Andrews median lines. And something I've started to do actually as well is when these median lines these pitchforks start to layer on top of each other, it's important to be able to discern the difference. So there's this one here, for example, which it's like, you know, dashed lines rather than straight lines, just because it makes it stand out from this one, because these are the same pivot points, but this is a regular pitchfork, and this one's a model. This is a shift pitchfork, and you're going to learn about shift pitchforks in module 19. Colin says, what time frame do you plot your median lines on? All of them, whatever time frame I'm looking at. You know, so this time frame right here is the 4 hour. So I'm going to do what makes sense for this. It's like what time frame are you going to use Kennedy's channeling technique? It's like, well, on all of them. I mean, like, you know, I might create a channel in this time frame of like, well, we've got a W, X, and then we're expecting a Y, so we could create a, you know, a channel like that, you know. See, now it starts to get, when you add over channels and pitchforks, it gets a bit nuts. But let me just make that really sort of bright, just so you can sort of see what I mean. There we go. So yeah, that makes sense for this time frame, right? But what doesn't make sense for this time frame is doing like a channel for some, like, you know, some of this like stuff going on inside here, because there's just not enough detail. And same thing with the pitchforks. It's just I'm going to go down into a smaller time frame to do these, you know, these lower time frame pitchforks. Just as I would go down into lower time frames to do lower, you know, lower degree Kennedy channeling techniques and all that kind of stuff, you know. So it just depends on the degree you're looking at. So I've just got sort of two main charts that I'm sort of looking at. One is the 4 hour, so I can get sort of a macro look of what I think is going on, and then I can go into more detail, which I think this does need to be tidied up. But you can see here, like these, as I go into more detail, I've got like I was experimenting with a little you know, correction channel here. I've got these little kind of like correction things here and ending diagonal thing here, but I don't use those in the 4 hour because you lose the detail and it's not helpful. Yeah, so yeah, I think that makes sense. So this is what I think we're looking at. So we're still looking at the same, like the wave count itself hasn't changed. Like the detailing of what I was thinking about what might be happening here, that's been obviously evolving as tends to happen, but the overall thing hasn't changed. I still think we've got a WX and we're looking for a Y down, and so far this upper median line hasn't been breached. So we've had some little tiny pops over the top, but price just gets crushed back down, immediately. And in the higher time frames, that would look like these little wicks that just sort of pop their head over here, and it just gets brought down. So until price breaks out above this median line and finds support and is clearly broken above it, then I'm going to be I'm just it's bearish. It's just a bearish outlook. Just looking at price, just keeping on continuing down. Now, whether price got according to Andrews and assuming that these pivot points are correctly placed, and so far there's no reason to assume otherwise, then there's an 80% chance that price is going to reach this median line. But look at the price levels that would take it to. So that's why I've also created this shift pitchfork, which just is a different, it's a a gentler angle, because although I am forecasting price to go down to those levels with the current wave count, it would be sort of a bit too early for that, because we'd be expecting just a B here, and then a C to return back and then complete the wave 4, and then we get the final push down. So I kind of feel like this is just going to be too far for this. That this B wave would be like, well, it could be a running flat or an expanding flat in the 4, and that's still assuming that this is still the wave 4 underway, because you remember this is the sort of my primary I've started to play with, that this isn't the end of the 4th wave and this isn't the 5th wave, because of just too much corrective action. So I'm just kind of gone back to the idea that this is still the 4th wave, and if that plays out, if that ends up being true, then we will see price having this one more push down, or this wave count might be incorrect and we've actually got something a bit more complex going on and we've got more sideways action to come before that final push down. So this might be still the X. We might have another couple of up and down movements to complete this X, and then we get the final move down. But if this is the final move, and that's what we'll see with this move here, right? If if price breaches this point here, then if this wave count is still correct, then we've got another move up to complete this X, and we'll have to sort of have a look at what's going on over here. But if price just sort of just collapses down here and moves away from this upper median line, then this is in play. And for this wave count to make sense, for this wave count, I wouldn't expect it to go down to this median line, unless we get a huge drop. But even then, it's got to come down to like 15,000, 16,000 to reach this median line. And I kind of feel like that's too far at this stage. So I kind of feel like price is going to come down to this median line, and which will also match up with the bottom of this median line, which is also a shift pitchfork as well. So, I kind of don't like, even that, well, part of me does like doing it, but I'd like doing it for me, but I don't like doing it for you guys. But if I said, okay, I'll be looking at this point right there, like, I like doing it for me purely because I'm like, it's like an ego lottery ticket, because if price goes exactly there, I just get to feel like a genius for like half an hour, right? But the problem is, if I post these and like, guys, I think price is going to go down here, then some of you guys might, like, if you guys make trading decisions based on me plonking these things down, then it's not bloody good. What I'm not doing in these live streams, and what I'm not doing with my Bitcoin wave counts, is I'm not giving you guys specific trading advice. I'm not giving you guys like specific trade setups. A trade setup would look a lot different. There's a lot of thought and detail that has to go into a trade setup. In other words, like, right, I'm doing a trade, guys, and because my focus has to be on the course, if I'm not doing enough work on a wave count for me to do a trade myself, then obviously I definitely am not going to be like going, oh, just casually like, oh guys, I think this is going to happen, therefore trade setup. No, that's irresponsible of me. So just so you guys are aware of that. This is just the time that I currently do have to allocate to the charts. I'm able to kind of have just share my thinking, right? That's kind of at the level we're at right now with the time I have to allocate to this. I'm just sharing my thinking, keeping it kind of more macro, right? So I will just say that macro, if price does, because look, price has come right back up now, and it's kind of, you know, coming back up now, and it's like, you know, so we'll see. We are getting like lower lows, right? We are getting lower lows, so we'll just kind of, you know, and it's not, you know, we got a spike in volume, but it was pushed right back down. It keeps getting pushed down, so we're going to find out probably like before, by the time I wake up tomorrow, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna see if price has broken up above this. If it does, then it might be a continuation of this X, and if it does drop down below this, then I'd be looking at this this median line here, and it is kind of interesting that we've got this shift median line here. Price bounced off there perfectly. It's come back up, and it just couldn't oscillated a little bit and came back down. And then, you know, Andrew's the sort of the law of Andrew's median line, if you want to call it a law, is that there's now an 80% chance that the price is going to reach the next median line. So given like these two median lines, that would mean sort of this area right here. So that's kind of what my my ego lottery ticket would be wanting to happen, because then I get to feel like a genius. But yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. That's kind of my that's my macro sort of thinking, literally. And we're very, very close to this upper median line here, so it's literally about just waiting what's gonna happen here. So if I did have the time to allocate to this, looking for trade setups, it wouldn't be now. It would be kind of waiting for it to get down here and just seeing what's happened, so we can potentially yeah, like look for the brand new trend, right? But again, I've got to spend more time on it. I mean, there are little things like you know, as it comes up and it hits these, like if it came back up like this, right, and it then got shot right back down, right, and it showed a lot of clearly that the market was like no, and it comes back up again, right, and you can see, in fact, if I zoom in really, really close, you can see this, right? You see how price bounced off this median line like surgically, absolutely surgically, right, and was forced back down. And as it comes back up again, because one of the things that Andrews said was that when price is gonna reverse on the median line, it will reverse, and it will come back and test it again. So when price bounced off this perfectly and was forced back down, right, with this really nice wick, right, really nice wick. So, I mean, this was also like really nice to see if you want to see downside. So you could have placed a short position, and this is, again, this isn't like trading advice. I'm just telling you like my thinking. If I was watching the markets at this time and looking for trade setups, then as the price hit the median line, you wouldn't short now, because it might just blast through. You don't know yet, right? But if it reverses down with some strength and gives you this really nice wick, and it comes back up again, then what you could do is you could create have a short position right in the median line, and have just a really tight stop, not too tight, because like you can see, it came up just a touch there, just a little bit, and then you can decide on, based on other, you know, factors, you might want to have it right down at the next median line, whatever. So there are like, that's one way that you would use Andrew's median lines to look for trade setups. You don't like just get in for the hell of it just because it hits the median line, because it might shoot through the median line. You don't know yet. You know, you want to wait for it to bounce off the median line, and then and coupled, like layered on top of a wave count where you would be expecting a reversal in price, right? And then if it comes back and then retests it, and then that's potentially, you know, given you've got to factor in all the other things as well, is potentially you know, a trade setup opportunity to consider. That's, you know, one of the things to how you use Andrew's median lines to look for trade setups. So yeah, like prices come back up now. I can't see much volume here, right, so far, like relative volume with this oscillator. And I'll come back to, was it Colin who asked something about the on balance volume oscillator? So, you know, so far it doesn't look. I mean, one thing we can clearly see is this is all corrective. It's all like all corrective, and that's what we would be kind of expecting. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, so I don't know what you guys were hoping for or expecting, but that's kind of where I'm at. So let me look at, was it Colin's question about unbalanced volume? Somebody asked me, so I'm just scrolling up. Oh, it was Robin. Yeah, Robin says, my question is about unbalanced volume in comparison to straight volume bars. Some waves have very little volume on OBV. Well, yeah, so the OBV is yeah, it's you, Robin. So the OBV is relative volume, right? So if you had a really big move down here in the volume, right, and you get some movement upwards, it will start to shift towards the upward movement, but it's relative. So it's still, if you have a really, really big move down, it's going to take a while for the unbalanced volume to then oscillate up in the other direction. So, and this is why, you know, these like divergences are really, you know, really, really valuable. So here, for example, you've got price going, you know, creating lower lows, but then you've got higher highs, meaning like the sellers are starting to get overtaken by the buyers. So, for example, let's try and find a good example. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm moving the wrong bloody one. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so you see this like massive drop. We get this huge spike in volume down here, right? And then you get this, it changes really fast, and you get a spike upwards there, right? So all of the volume that it took to stop the sellers and bring and sort of correct up here, it looks like this one was really, really small. But you've also got to understand that this is a relative volume oscillator, and so you need to kind of think about this of like it's also like this amount of like volume direction change. So this is actually like kind of huge, you know, if you think about it in those terms, because if you think about the difference it's taken from the volume to get this push down here, right, this amount down here and this huge spike up here was actually relatively less volume than it took to switch from this insane volume up to here. So what might look like not much volume, it also depends on where it's come from. It's like a relative thing. Robin says, why don't you use absolute volume? Some trends have very little volume to see. Take a look at the descending triangle on October the 2nd and 3rd. Are you talking about on the chart right in front of me? I see here, right? Yeah, but then I would just expand it and just, you know, just bring it right, just, you know, until it's useful, and there we go. Now I've got a volume I can look at, so not a problem. And I don't use the regular volume because it's I just find this more useful, because it's like it's not just volume that I'm looking at, that to me is for the type of trading that I do. It's not just volume, it's the difference between the volume from the buyers to the volume from the sellers. Now I know that, you know, the volume bars they can be colorized, but to me this is much more, just so much more useful. And look, as you saw in module 6, I think it was module 6, like mainly what the reason why this is useful is, yeah, you've got like the helps you identify wave 3. That's like the first thing I teach you, but then it's divergence, right? It's a volume divergence between usually between wave 3 and 5. I'm looking for wave 3s, and sometimes they're hard to spot. Yeah, I never find that. I never find them hard to spot at all, ever. You know, I just don't find them hard to spot. You know, because I just look for the spikes in volume, and well, yeah, I look for the spikes in volume, but don't forget we're inside like a crazy correction here. So looking for a third wave within like a crazy correction, like, you know, a double, you know, a complex double combo with double combos within double combos within, you know, like, well, the third waves are going to be within any kind of A waves or C waves within those corrections. So they're going to be like, you'll find those in the lower degrees. So this is, let me see if we can find like an impulse, like somewhere within here. So this is a W, so that's a correction. There's corrections all over the place. So I've said here this is an A. So if we went down to if I just choose that and go down to the 5 minutes, and let's see if we can see an impulse within that A wave. So this is bit stamp. So we've kind of start to run out of liquidity here, right? And you can see, but what's interesting is, remember I said that third waves is when you tend to get the gaps. Well, look at that, there's the gap. So you've got first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, maybe, but starting to run out of liquidity. And because you've got this big volume thing here, it looks like there's not much volume going on, like relatively. So it's kind of it's more of like in this particular instance, it's like probably a liquidity issue. So because of the volume in the other direction that preceded it, like a much bigger move, it's kind of like stolen all of the data for us. And like we can see that this, yeah, it's like it's all heading down, but it's all showing us positive. So in this particular instance, the on balance volume is not going to help us find the third wave within there, because it's kind of within a correction. But yeah, hopefully you can see that. Robin says that's because you're Yoda. I hope you don't mean that I look like Yoda. But so okay, this is a W. Okay, so that means we've got, I'm trying to remind myself. So if that was a if that's the 1 2 3 4 5, just trying to find an example for you, Robin. Let's get rid of, I'll get rid of this. I'll do, okay. That's a correction as well. Yeah, it's just because it's like, I hope, yeah, but that's an ending diagonal, so it's not quite right. Oh, here we go. So 1 2 3. So yeah, but this still isn't perfect. But yeah, even still, you've got like the spike here, and the final spike in the third wave. So it's like an extended fifth wave in the third wave. But in the entire move so far, the biggest spike is this spike here, which in this wave count is the third wave of the third wave. So they are there, but you have to find, if you're looking inside a complex correction, then you got to, it's because look, when I first start teaching about wave identification, it's a great little tool. It's a great little thing you can use volume, whether it's the on balance volume or regular volume, to help you identify third waves. But it's not in and of itself like that's how you identify third waves. It's just a signature of third waves, right? It's a sign. It's a signature of a third wave. But you use it in accompaniment with all the rest of your wave counting, and does it make sense with everything else that I've been teaching you? Yeah. So look, that's kind of all I can say about what's happening with Bitcoin right now. But it's nice. We've got a nice bounce off that. So if I go down, yeah, we've got the 5 minutes. So we've got a nice bounce, right? And we don't know what happened here. Did it come back down, and did it kind of retest it? We don't know. I suppose we can go down into a low time frame, but again, this is Bitstamp. So yeah, it looked like we didn't really get a retest. It just kind of didn't quite hit it. But yeah, so let's go into, no, actually I don't want to touch this. I want to stay in the 4 hour there. I just want to kind of leave that. I mean, you can see here, like, didn't get a perfect touch, but yeah, look at this, like all these gaps. I've just run out of liquidity in Bitstamp. You just can't go down into the 1 minute. You just can't. Look, it's like Inception. If you go too deep, like reality starts to break down. Like the waves just start to break down. So Bitstamp is great if you want to look at the macro long-term stuff, because Bitcoin was traded on Bitstamp like right from the beginning, pretty much, right? And whereas Binance, you can only go back to like 2017, when Binance first launched. So I've kind of got these in the wrong order. I've got my higher time frame in Binance right now, like Binance, on my lower time frame in Bitstamp. So I've got to swap these over at some point. It's just the way I kind of ended up doing it recently. But yeah, so far so good. Even as we're talking, it's kind of come up, and it's just, it's like, nope, price does not want to go past this upper median line. So far so good, looking for this downside. But if I wake up tomorrow and price is blasted kind of out of this, then the next point we'll be looking at will be this upper median line to see what's going to happen. Well, this upper median line here, and then on the higher time frame, this area here. So if it does break past this level here, then we'd be sort of looking at just kind of, oh shit, let's not go too big, just kind of like these areas here, and then beyond that, the upper median line over here. So like the Bermuda, we'll call it the Bermuda Triangle, right? That's what we would be sort of looking at. So yeah, but the way the price is kind of bounce, it's not, we're still getting lower lows, but we are kind of, these lower lows are moving us closer to to this upper median line. So I kind of feel like we're going to get it's decision point very, very quickly. So this you see this line here, it's either going to break down below this or it's going to go back this way. So that's what we're looking at, right? And and we'll just have to see if it's just pressing up against the top and keeps pressing up against the top, it's likely going to pop out of that top. But we're going to see. So if this is the 4 hour, then we're going to see something like by the time I've woken up, we probably would have seen it drop out the bottom or come up the top. If it comes up the top, then we'll be looking at sort of these areas next. And if it breaks down the bottom, like I said, we'll be looking at kind of these areas down here. So that's what I'm looking at. Any questions? You guys have any questions or anything you want me to look at? You can see I'm kind of sleepy and tired. I've been in the car for 5 hours. Didn't get too much sleep over the weekend. So I'm looking in the chat now, see if you guys have any questions, anything you want me to look at. Otherwise, I'll just I'll turn TradingView off and just go back to my beautiful face. Yeah, there's my face. So if there's no questions, then we can wrap up early. Or you can just tell me how handsome you think I am. We can just talk about that for a few minutes. Yeah. Tony says dashing. I'll accept that. Dashing is a good word. Well, I mean, how are you guys getting along with the course, right? Are any of you profitable yet, right? Or have any of you experienced indicators that you're on the right track? Have any of you had tastes, of whether it's a live trade or you've just looked at the chart and based on what you've learned, you've made a prediction, right? Even if you haven't like charted it up, right? You've thought of like, well, based on what I learned in module whatever, based on what Annie said, it looks like price is going to do this, and then you woke up the next day and price has done it, and you're like, holy shit, okay. Like, have you guys had any moments like that? Marcus says Moses too. Corey says dying for module 19. Yeah, it's coming. Christopher says nearly. Colin says can't wait for module 19. Robin says module 17 is the toughest to date. Module 17 is, what was module 17? Remind me. Module 18 was the Andrews median lines. I've forgotten what module 17 is. Corey says, I'm live trading but still working with small amounts. Love the trading journal. Oh yeah, cool. Have you guys checked out the trading journal? That's a good thing to bring up. So the trading journal, I'm gonna be selling, because it took me bloody ages to put that thing together, all the formulas. And also in the course there's a topics area, and one of the topics is custom mods. And Ference, one of the guys in the community, he's created his own kind of, he's customized what I've done. He's kind of created, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but Corey said it looks really, really cool, and I welcome anyone to customize. You can't obviously edit the actual spreadsheet that I've got, but feel free to, you know, copy it, and if you come up with a cool way of doing it on your own, and post it in the custom mods bit. So that will be paid, like you've got to buy it at some point, but because you guys are kind of like, you know, the first early adopters of King Silver Academy wave counters, you know, that's why I'm letting you guys in for free. But for in the future, people will have to pay for it. Not a lot, like $10, something like that. Nothing crazy, but sorry, I'm reading your comments. Colin says, I had a 6-week winning streak on Forex. Nice. Shaman says, combo corrections. Christopher says, only on backtest. That's cool though. That's great. If you're still getting results on the backtest, that's like the first step, right? That's great. Colin says, trading live. Corey, double corrections, model 17. Sorry, double and triple combos. Cool. Mark says, I've had a good few trades, a few losses, but still in profit. Nice. Yeah, really cool. Mark, you're doing great, Mark. Shaman says model 17 was on combo corrections. Who said they were having trouble with that? Was it Robin? The toughest today. Yeah, I mean, combo corrections, man. But I mean, like, specifically, what's tough about it? Like, is it tough spotting double combos? Like, you know, what's tough about it? You know, is it like just learning the different types of double combos, or the typical kind of retraces and you know, extension Fibonacci levels and all that kind of stuff? And I think that stuff is like, it's almost like learning a times table. It's just, you have to just repetition. Corey says combos within combo. Yeah, combo inception, which we're seeing a lot right now, right? Which is why I kind of still think we're still in wave 4 of the high degree. So Esther says, yes, I have had moments like that. Once had an inverse scale, but still got price targets right. Nice. Robin says, it's difficult to spot all the different types of corrections. Yeah, you'll get there, man. It's just like learning a language. Like, it's difficult to remember all the verbs and different conjugations, and, you know, but yeah. Colin says, labeling them correctly for me. Yeah, I remember you've posted a few charts, and as you post them, because like the biggest reason people make mistakes with wave counts, like the mistake is you're making a wave count based on an assumption that you haven't tested. You're starting off with a hypothesis, and you are assuming your hypothesis is correct. You're not testing the hypothesis. You're going, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a wave 3, and that's a wave 5. Why? Well, because I said so. No, that's, until tested, it's a hypothesis. If you're trading based on hypotheses, that's insane. You know, you have to test your hypotheses, and this is why, whether it was you, Colin, or Charles was posting, and I could see that the lower degree wave counts of, let's say, the wave 3 wasn't impulsive, it was corrective, or it didn't, and so it's like, well, have you looked at your wave 3, because that doesn't look like an impulse, you know? Or so the biggest factor behind a wave count being wrong is that you are trading a hypothesis. You haven't tested your wave count. You don't know that what you've presented is just a hypothesis. So you need to go down into the lower degrees and have a look about, okay, well, if this is a wave 1, well, a wave 1 is going to be a 5-wave impulse move. Let's go into that wave 1, and am I seeing a 5-wave impulse move? And if you go in and you can't make out the impulse move, then it's probably not a wave 1. It's probably a corrective move. And this goes not just to that wave. If this is wave 1, then the prior wave must be a wave C or a wave 5. So you've got to investigate that. And this is what. Yeah, sorry, the Wi-Fi just died. So I switched to my data on my phone, and I've got like 17% battery. That should be fine. Sorry about that. The Wi-Fi just cut off. We haven't lost any of you. So what was I saying? Yeah. So yeah, you got to check your wave counts, right? You got to test it. Just because you think that you're looking at an impulse, you have to test it, because might not be, and if you draw a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 3 you've drawn or the 5 you've counted, you go into the subwaves, and that's not an impulse. Then it's not an impulse, and then you're trading what you think is an impulse, but it turns out it's a correction, and obviously you're going to get burnt. So we'll carry on for another few minutes or so, unless there's more questions that prompt me going off on a big monologue. But yeah, Mark says at the moment a lot of trades are in a 50-50. They can go either way. Yeah, I mean, if you're in that position, that's not a position that you want to be trading, right? That's not a trade setup, right? You want to just wait until you've got a trade setup, and a trade setup is when you're predicting, okay, well, based on my wave count, based on even a couple of alts, it looks like price is going to be going in this direction. That's the trade setup. Corey says, I'm going to go. Thanks, Andy. Have a good night. Yeah, cool, man. All good. And I'm going to go in a few minutes anyway. So, because I'm really sleepy, and if I'm not helping you guys by just being all sleepy, then yeah, we'll just wrap it up, and I'll see you guys next week. Mark says, Colin, contact me. We could possibly have a chat. Yeah, Mark, that'd be great. Because Mark's doing great. Mark's really took to the material, and so yeah, if Mark's happy to speak to you, then yeah, man, that'll be really helpful, Colin. So I appreciate that, Mark. That's nice of you. Cool. Right. Well, look, should we wrap it up? I know I started a bit late. I started like 7 minutes late, or 9 minutes late or something. But yeah, I'm getting all sleepy. Let's wrap it up. Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll leave you guys to chat then. So yes, I'll just say goodbye. So cheers, boys and girls. It's been a nice, relaxed, chill one. It's not. I'm like on this little chair, sort of hunched over. My neck is starting to. Oh, my age is starting to show. So next time we talk, I'll be somewhere more comfortable. So yeah, cheers, Mark. Cheers, Colin. Cheers, Robin. Cheers, Tony. Cheers, Esther. Cheers, Janus. Cheers, Marcus. Cheers, Christopher. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the Lions community, and we'll be talking like this again next Monday on the 4th Wavecast. So yeah, I hope these are enjoyable. I hope these are useful for you, even when I'm being all sleepy and quiet. But and I'm thank you for the responses about the wave counts that I've been doing, because it is important for me to know that what I'm doing is helpful, because one of the biggest frustrations I had when I was learning was that traders are I found were either generally like good traders were either unwilling to help because they had gone through blood, sweat, and tears to acquire their skills, and they were like keeping their cards close to their chest. They were either unwilling to help, or they were just terrible teachers that just couldn't. You're like, what are you talking? Or what? So that was always the frustrating thing when I was on the way up. So I want to know if what I'm doing is helpful, and so it's good to hear. So I'm going to keep on doing them. I didn't get to do one this morning. Oh no, I did post one this morning, didn't I? But it was very brief and quick because we were about to jump in the car. Yeah, cheers, Shaman, and cheers, Esther. Right, so I'll log off. So have a good day, night, evening, whatever, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.